All I want to do is check off that I did my 10,000 steps for today. But using Excel in the mobile app is painful. Panning left and right, zooming in and out, all just to check off one box. That's what you get when you build a habit tracker in Excel and then try and use it on your phone. This tracker took me nearly 30 minutes to build and uses 20 different Excel functions. While it works great on my desktop, it's not ideal when I'm on the go. So in this video, I'm partnering with Zite to turn my spreadsheet into a proper mobile app. Give me 2 seconds to get to my desk. Okay, if you'd like to follow along, use the link in the video description to try Zite for free. Let's put it to the test. Here I am in Zite. I'm going to upload my Excel habit tracker and paste in my prompt, which is create an interactive habit tracker app based on this spreadsheet. The app should allow users to add, edit and delete habits, assign each habit a category and daily goal, and tick off completion for each day. Include summary metrics for completed today, average progress, most completed habit, needs attention, best current streak, and best day this month. Calculate streaks for each habit. Include visual progress indicators, including a daily completion chart and a progress today donut chart. In the mobile layout, split the summary report and daily habits into separate screens. The daily checklist view should be easy to check off today's habits with navigation arrows to step forward and back by day. Clicking on the connector icon allows you to integrate other apps, including email, Teams, file storage, CRMs, and other AI tools. Plus, you can connect to a payment service like Stripe, so you can go as far as monetizing your app. Now, I don't need any of that functionality for my habit tracker, but it's good to know for other apps you might want to build. Then under Brand Kit, you can create a theme that reflects your company branding, or choose one of the built-in ones, and as you hover over them, you get a preview. I'm going to go with Amethyst Haze. Before building the app, I want Zite to come up with a plan first. That way we can see how it interprets the spreadsheet and whether it's identified all of the key pieces. It also avoids wasting AI credits and energy building something that isn't what I want. Let's click the yellow button and see how it goes. Okay, so Zite has analyzed my spreadsheet and come up with a plan. In the dashboard, it's going to have summary cards and charts. And if we look in the right-hand side, we get a rough sketch of the layout and structure. The daily checklist is going to allow me to tap to complete a habit, which is going to be way easier than Excel. And we've got a dialogue to add and edit habits, and then the database. And if we click on the data and rules, we can see it's going to have 2 tables, one for habits and one for completions. As an Excel person, I like this because it's basically normalized the data. Instead of storing everything in one giant grid-like spreadsheet, it's separating the habits from the completion records. And importantly, we can see it understands that things like streak calculations shouldn't be hard-coded. They need to be updated automatically as you tick off habits. Now, so far, it's a pretty solid interpretation of what I built in Excel. Down here, we've got not included features, no multi-user support. That's fine. It's just for me. Month-to-month navigation or historical month views. Well, actually, we probably want that because I might want to go back and see how I did in previous months. So let's tell it we want to include month-to-month navigation for historical month views. And with that, it's modified the plan to include navigation buttons. So I'm happy. Let's go ahead and build the plan. Okay, it's checking in with me to make sure I'm happy to continue creating the database. It's got the 2 tables with the fields that I need. So let's click Create Database. Okay, the app's finished building, and at first glance, it looks pretty polished. But the real test is whether it captured the things that made the Excel version useful in the first place. And most importantly, is it actually easier to use on a phone? Let's take a closer look. The dashboard looks great. We've got our key performance indicators at the top, and then the daily completions chart. I'd probably add data labels here and make the progress donut chart a bit smaller, but those are simple changes, and I could go ahead down here and ask Zite to make those. Then below, we've got our checklist of habits by day. Let's see what it looks like in the phone layout, because that's the real test. So we've got the checklist on its own page, making it super easy to check off. And then if I click the Analysis tab, it pops up with the summary. I've got my KPIs, my column chart, and my donut chart. And if I need to go back previous days, I can toggle through them And if I want to go back previous months, I've got the toggle buttons up here as well. The front end looks impressive and I'm excited to try it out on my phone. But first I'm curious about what it built behind the scenes. So let's take a look. On the database tab, we can see Zite has created 2 tables. The first one is the habits table. This stores information about the habit, including the category and daily goal. And then the completions table is where every checkmark is stored. So rather than having one giant spreadsheet with checkboxes spread across lots of columns, each completion is stored as its own record with the habit and the date. If you've used Power Pivot before, this will look familiar. One table stores the habits and another stores the completion records. You can even use ChatGPT or Claude to inspect and analyze the data, and we'll look at this in more detail shortly. Now, sitting on top of the database are the workflows that make the app work. The first workflow is managing the habit. It's responsible for creating, updating, and deleting habits. So when I add a new habit, like read for 20 minutes or change one of the descriptions, this workflow handles it. Then we have get habit data. This is probably the most important one because it's gathering all of the habit and completion data and calculating the metrics for the dashboard. You can think of this like all of the formulas in my workbook. Instead of using 20 Excel functions, the app is calculating everything behind the scenes and then feeding the results into the dashboard. And then finally, we have toggle completion. This runs every time I tick or untick one of the checkboxes. So when I mark today's walk as complete, this workflow updates the data and then all of the charts, metrics and streaks update automatically. Now you can chat about the workflow with Zite and make modifications, or for the coders, you can dive right in and inspect and edit the code. What's impressive is that I didn't ask Zite to create any of these workflows individually. It looked at the spreadsheet, understood how the tracker worked, and built the underlying logic for me. One of the things my Excel tracker isn't set up to do is remind me to actually complete my habits. So if I forgot to go for a walk or drink enough water, Excel isn't going to send me a nudge. And this is where Zite's schedule workflows come in. We can create workflows that run automatically at a particular time or on particular days. Create a scheduled task and just describe what you want. So I can tell it to set 2 email reminders each day, one at 7 a.m. to remind me to check off my habits and one at 4 p.m. to remind me to complete any habits I haven't checked off for the day. And then go ahead and set it up and it will connect to your email. And then once I publish the app, Zite will send me 2 reminders a day, helping me stay on track with my habits. And that's the nice thing about turning this into an app. It's adding capabilities that my spreadsheet simply doesn't have. Speaking of which, you can also set up webhooks that trigger when something happens in an external app, like a sale or form being completed by a customer or employee. It's not relevant to my app, but super handy if you have customer-facing apps, for example. Okay, I'm ready to publish the app. Clicking on the Publish button, I can share it to the web. If I don't want to share it outside my organization, you can toggle this off. I'm the only one who's going to use it, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's go ahead and publish. And with that, it's done. I can use this URL to open the app on my phone or PC, and the app will adapt to the device. Here on my phone, it's super easy to see the list of habits and check them off, and review the KPIs, helping me stay on track. Speaking of KPIs, let's look at how we can use ChatGPT to analyze the data. Once you install the Zite plugin in ChatGPT, you can simply start chatting with it about your data without needing to open the app. For example, I can ask it to review my Zite habit tracker data and give me some advice on what habits I need to work on doing better at. Let's send that and see what it says. ChatGPT has analyzed the data and it's given me a list of habits in order, telling me which ones I need to prioritize. It then suggests practical ways to make the habits I'm struggling with easier to stick to. Now, of course, if your app was business related, you might use ChatGPT to analyze your sales and marketing performance and make recommendations. But I'm pretty happy with this. It's telling me that my 10-minute goal for stretching could be creating unnecessary resistance and maybe reduce it to 2 minutes. So I'm going to give that a go. So can Zite turn a complex Excel spreadsheet into a proper mobile app? I think I proved that's a yes. It kept my dashboard, the analytics, and all of the tracking features I built in Excel, but now it's much easier to use on my phone. And it even added capabilities like reminders and AI-powered insights that my spreadsheet simply didn't have. If you want to try it out with your own spreadsheets, there's a link in the description and pinned comment. You can get started for free and you'll get 50% extra credits to use as well. That link also helps support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.